Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the 1 Point Safety Show with myself, Scott Hartley, and my amazing co-host, Scouse Andy. Apologies for the technical issues before we started if you were waiting in the chat. Just had a few issues there, but we're all good. It's Victory Thursday, Scouse. How you feeling, mate? You good?
Why wouldn't I be good? This is a great week, victory week. So yeah, man.
Victory week. I know, I can't wait. We'll start off, obviously, with our sponsors. So, Dunstable Town FC's Talk of the Town podcast, we sponsor them for this season up and coming. If you're into non-league football, go across and give them a follow, a subscribe, and a like. You can find them on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. Just type in Talk of the Town podcast. We're also graciously sponsored by Oddballs, which is, go across to look at them. They are myoddballs.com. They do pants, hats, scarves, all sorts of bits and pieces, and 50% of proceeds go to men's health charities for testicular cancer. You can also buy our merch on there now as well. We've also got a new sponsor as well, Scouts, this week, Fusion Therapeutics. Provide expert musculoskeletal assessments and treatments with a focus on holistic care, dedicated to improve your well-being through tailored musculoskeletal health plans. The team offer specialist injection therapy and non-medical independent prescribing. So if you are in the Northwest, Manchester or a Cheshire area, give the team a call on 0161 842 0030, or you can book online through fusiontherapeutics.co.uk, and the team will be happy to advise you further on this affordable treatment solutions. So thank you for them for sponsoring us. We appreciate it. Mate, into the news. Jayden Daniels was named NFC Player of the Week, and we'll get into that a little bit later on. But this is the second award he's got. He's got a Rookie of the Week, and now he's got full-blown NFC Player of the Week. I mean, what are your thoughts on Jayden obviously getting this award?
Well deserved. I mean, he was superb last week, so there's nothing really that you can fault him with. I mean, I've seen one or two things when watching it back where you think, that guy was open, could have hit him, but instead he took the check down, but kept the chains moving. Completed percentage was through the roof. You can't complain. And the big thing for me that was really and basically annoying, it was annoying me, was that they weren't actually doing any deep balls. But yeah, that this week was different. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, man, they've opened the playbook up, and Cliff did a really good thing. So man, I'm well deserved for Jayden, and yeah, kudos.
Agreed. We'll get into it then, mate. We'll review the game. We'll review of Week 3 versus Cincinnati Bengals, a 38-33 win. I mean, 38 points, my word. When was the last time we scored 38 points? I genuinely couldn't give you an answer on that. But we'll go through the headline stats. So Jayden Daniels, 21 of 23 completed passes, 254 yards with an average of 11 yards per pass, 2 TDs, no interceptions, 2 sacks for 6 yards, and a QBR rating of 93. Jayden Daniels was the highest rusher as well, with 12 carries for 39 yards. Austin Eckler, 3 carries for 35 yards. Brian Robinson, 16 carries for 33. And Jerry McNichols was 1 carry for 1 yard. In receiving, Terry McLaurin, 4 receptions for 100 yards and a TD with a long of 55, which we'll get into, I'm sure. Luke McCaffrey was second with 44 yards off 3 receptions. Zach Ertz, 5 receptions for 38. Noah Brown, 3 receptions for 29. And then Austin Eckler was also targeted twice for 22. De'Ami Brown, 2 for 16. B-Rob, 1 for 4. And Trent Scott, 1 for 1, which I'm sure, and a touchdown, which I'm sure we'll get into again.
Good wide receiver.
Absolute wide receiver too. On the opposite side, Joe Burrow, he was 29 of 38, 324 yards, 3 TDs, no interceptions. Chase Brown, 7 carries for 62 yards, no TDs. Zach Moss, 12 carries, 1 TD, 58 yards. And then Joe Burrow himself was 1 carry for 4 yards. And on the receiving side, Jamar Chase, 6 receptions, 118, 2 TDs. I can't pronounce how you pronounce the tight end's surname. Is it Zavides? 52 yards, 5 receptions for 1 TD. Mike Gesicki. Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, I think, is he a receiver or is he a tight end? I can't remember which one he is. Yeah,
Yosavas or something like that.
Yosavas, yeah. I don't know how you pronounce his surname. And then Gesicki, 4 receptions for 47. And overall, as a team, they had 29 receptions for 324 yards. 1 fumble by Zach Ertz. That fumble was recovered by Nick Allegretti. And then on the defensive side, we had 42 total tackles, 2 sacks. The sacks were half a sack for Fowler and half a sack for Armstrong. And the full sack went to Javonte Jean-Baptiste. Sacks that Jaden took, he took 2. 1 from Trey Hendrickson and then a half sack for Jay Tufel and Zach Carter with the other one. Obviously, kickoff returns, massive as well. We've got to mention that. So, Austin Eckler, 1 for 62 yards. Noah Igbenogany, 1 for 25 yards as well. No punts and kicking. Austin Siebert, obviously, 1 field goal, which was 42 yards, and 5 extra points all made. So a total of 8 points he received there.
Isn't it nice to have a kicker that you can rely on? Isn't it nice?
Amazing. So they're really the headline stats, mate, from us. What were your initial thoughts on the game, buddy? Obviously, a late one for us. So man,
well, obviously painful. A painful started the morning, a 1:15 kickoff. So a bit nasty. But in general, I mean, it was a great game. Both ways. I mean, it was end to end. It was a true shootout. And on my other pod that I did with Deuce, I said I didn't think Jaden would be ready for a shootout against Joe Burrow. How wrong was I? I mean, it was just a massive improvement from the week before when we saw him against the Giants. Oh yeah, it was nice that he didn't throw any picks in that game, or no turnovers. But the thing is, though, we got killed in the red zone because of penalties, and also we just didn't get in the end zone. We had to win by 7 field goals. This time around, it was just pure clinical. It was just really clinical performance. It was like every time we got the ball, we scored. And it wasn't just field goals, as you say. We only had 1 field goal. That's the difference. That's what's going to get you 30-odd points a game. That's going to get you a lot of wins, even with the bad defense that we've got. So. But this is the bar. The bar's been set now, and the thing is, this is very difficult to maintain because he played near enough a perfect game. He really did.
Yeah,
mean, and Cliff did everything, and the O-line was really good. And this is like a completely different fucking offensive line from what I've seen. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, wait a minute, who the fuck are these guys? Because it's way different, way better. It's just way better. So I mean, there's nothing I can say would put all the superlatives. You can say anything about the offense last week, and it was superb.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean, we were chatting throughout in our WhatsApp group, and you were going, I can't question the offense at all.
I can't fault. I mean, if you really wanted to massively nitpick, I say before it was like there was maybe 2 chances where Jaden could have went a bit deeper with a different receiver. But didn't need to. You know what I mean? He put a check down, he got 5 or 10 yards, whatever it was. A couple of times that happened, so he missed that receiver, as in didn't look at him, didn't see him. But again, I'm nitpicking here, do you know what I mean? And then the other one is the...
Scouse, you got some technical issues again. Well, I'll just crack on. You're there now. You had a few in and outs there, mate.
Just the internet again been shocking up here. So I mean, there really was very slim pickings, man, to choose from, and even then, the other things with the offensive line in the fourth quarter, that was the first time they give away any penalties. Again, you mentioned two sacks or two sacks for 6 yards, minus 6 yards. That's okay. You know what I mean? Like that's fine. It's expected to to give up some plays, but mostly what we dominated the whole lot, man. I mean, I was so.
Yeah, I think your internet's gone again, Scouse, but that's fine. It's no problem. What I was going to say to my first impressions on this entire team and this win was it's a statement win. You know what I mean? That is exactly what it is. I didn't expect us to win this game. Absolutely not. Jaden played the best game that he could have potentially played ever. But for me, I said this on the Bleeding Burgundy, and I think this is what we expected to be as a Commanders. This was like this is what I wanted to see. This was the breakout game where you can say, hey, this whole new rebrand hasn't done anything over the last couple of years. We've been in the doldrums, and then we look at this game, we go to Cincinnati, and we pull out a performance like that. Yes, it wasn't perfect, and we'll get onto the defense, but offensively, there wasn't a single time where I was watching that game, even though it was stupid o'clock in the morning, thinking to myself, we're not going to score here, or we're not going to get in a position to at least do something. I just felt comfortable. Now, how weird is that as a Commanders fan to be comfortable?
100%, man. I mean, I say he looked so comfortable in that game as well, and it was, it was a big game. I say it was a prime time game. It was away at the Bengals, who, I think they're still going to make the playoffs, even though they're 0-3. I still think they're going to make the playoffs. They've got too much firepower to not make it. Do you know what I mean? So, that's that would be normally a game. But what was it, last year's AFC Championship game?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Year before.
Last year.
Year before, I think. Year before, I think. Yeah.
Okay. But either way, it's a very difficult place to go, and I say it's prime time as well. And
absolutely.
Jaden looked like he belonged. He looked like he owned the place, and that's so impressive for a rookie in his third game.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean, that is what we...
Cliff is due, man. Got to give Cliff his due as well.
Oh, I have to. He called an amazing game. And we've obviously been, not critical, I would just say that as a fan base, we've been looking at it saying, it's dink and dunk, it's safe stuff the first 2 weeks. And you're like, come on, when are you going to open this playbook? I mean, the touchdown to Trent Scott, I mean, where is he in his bag for that playbook? You know what I mean? To go, right, hang on, this is... Yeah, going to page 7 for this one. He was in his bag, and it was just like, wow, you know what? This is it. Kyle's just said there, Andy's internet went out when he was talking optimistically. Yeah, absolutely right,
true,
Kyle.
Man, it's true. My internet does not like me talking positively. So.
But you can't fault this offense, Scouts. You really can't fault this offense at all.
I've nitpicked the best I can from the offense. It was a great performance. It was one of them where you think, can it be replicated? That's the key.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Going to be the hardest part of being able to. The fans are going to expect this now because we've done it. We've proved it once. Well, I want to do it again. We want to do it every week. Every single time we get the ball, we should be driving down the field. Should be getting points. See what I mean? That's going to put a lot of pressure on our guys. And you've got to be realistic here. It's not going to happen. There's no way we're going to keep doing what we're doing right now. No, there's going to be. Tress Way is going to get involved.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to punt. Yeah, at some point. Yeah.
So it's but yeah, man, enjoy it while we can, man, because it might not last too long. This, but yeah, amazing.
I think that's it. I think you've just got we've got away from that feeling of having a joy, really, as a fan. And being, it's great beating the Giants. Absolutely. It's great going to see it live. It's great going out there and saying, hey, the streak continues, which is awesome. But we won one home game last year. And it's like, hang on a minute. One game? What? And then you look back and you think, right, okay, where is the joy that comes from this team? And as I said, I think this was the standout game that we have ever had as the Commanders. We can't. Where can you look back and say,
commander, yeah,
as the Commanders, yeah, not a football team. We went to the Steelers, yeah, I get that. We played Philly close a couple of times, but you still lose them games. And we beat Philly in Philly, yeah. On was that Monday night or Thursday night football? I can't remember which one it was, but anyway, that's going back a bit, but. It just filled me full of joy, and I thought, this is like watching bombs down to Terry, the 55-yarder was incredible. Looking at that, the touchdown was awesome.
The balls on Jaden there though for that touchdown when they were. The Bengals are always chasing us, and that's what was really impressive. It wasn't us trying to play catch up and trying to get back in the game. It was we were dictating, we were scoring first. You come and try and take us on. I'm not saying Bo did. Do you know what I mean? He tried his best, and he put up 30-odd points, and it still wasn't enough. But that's not his fault, But yeah, it was just nice to see that we were the dominant team. We were the team in charge and going, hey, this is our game. You got to try and catch us up. It's nice to see that. Really nice.
4 for 4 on fourth downs as well, Scouse. That
Yeah,
makes a massive
he was
difference.
clutch, wasn't he? I mean, Jaden was clutch, man. When you needed him to pull out a play on the fourth down or the third and nines, stuff like that, he was making it happen. You know, I say you really can't fault his gameplay at all. In that game, it's just insane.
And he's just growing and getting. It's going to get
Yeah,
better and better
he's
and
got
better.
balls. To get back to the point I was trying to make before, was
Oh yeah, absolutely.
for Terry's TD that hit because that guy was free. You know, it was a free rusher, and he knew he was going to get smoked, but he stood in the pocket and delivered that absolute bomb and taken an absolute hit at the same time. And you know, it was a big hit he took as well. And he got back up straight away. I was thinking, because that's the thing with me, it's like, can he handle the hits? Well, he handled that one quite well. So yeah, man. I mean, it's nice. It's great to see because he isn't just a guy who's just going to run. He isn't a you know, Lamar Jackson. I mean, you know, even the Vicks and stuff like that, Michael Vick. No, yeah, he could throw the ball, but again, he was deadly with his legs. That's what he wanted. He was a rush first guy. End of the day, and this guy has got the legs, but he still uses them, but it's just not. It's not the same. You can see he's a passer first. You can see it now. You can see it. So
when he juked number 50 out of his boots, I was like, wow. You know, oh yeah, I'll just put my hand down as well, and I've juked you out of your boots. It was like a hit stick move on Madden. I was like, what is going on here? This is. Yeah. It was. I mean, honestly, it was a ridiculous offensive performance. Ridiculous to the point where I couldn't even believe what we were seeing. Yeah,
no fumbles, no turnovers, very little penalties against us. I mean, you know,
there were two procedural penalties, one on Ertz and one on Diami Brown. But even
they were in the fourth. They were in the fourth quarter as well.
Yeah, so, they were. You know, and even to have the balls for Diami Brown to run a crossing route, and you're like, hang on a minute, you've got absolutely smoked on that crossing route. But then to get up and play it again, I was like, okay, this is interesting. You know, this is what we want to see as fans. Now, we can't get overhyped because, as you said before, he has to maintain this, and we have to maintain to move forward. It's impossible. It's impossible to maintain
that. Every drive, every single time. It's just impossible to do. So, I mean, did you see the stats where Jaden's done it twice in 3 games? When like, I think it showed you a picture of like Brady Breeze,
yeah, man. It was 1,200 and something games, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they only did it twice where their punters never had to punt in the game. Twice total between all 4 of those guys, and Jaden's done it twice in 3 games. You know, so that, I mean, it's just ridiculous. We just cannot. We can't expect it to continue. I'd love it to continue. If we have, we got the absolute. You know, we have got the next fucking Brady, Manning, whatever you want to call them. You know, if we can do it every single week, but we can't expect that.
I mean, we said before the season started, what we want to see is just consistency, consistent play, and consistency in what he's doing, and growth from a quarterback. I was not expecting this for week 3. Absolutely not. No way I was expecting.
I expect us to get battered. So
yeah, I did too. I did too. In all honesty, I thought we might play it close. I thought, but you know, maybe lose by 7.
James going to be nervous. It's a prime time game. It's yeah. I just thought I thought we didn't have the firepower to be able to handle like Jamar Chase and all those other boys, and Jaden pulled out the bag for us. So
I mean, we're not going to do Debbie Downer, but we'll get onto the old. We'll get onto the defense. I mean, it was a bend don't break defense.
No, it was a broken defense, mate. It was a broken defense. They're virtually same as us. It was literally we scored, they scored, we scored, they scored. It was that continually all the way down. I think it was just one time where we actually stopped them once, and that was the field goal. The guy missed it. And it was like, and that was early on in the game, and it's like, well, okay, no, it's not a good D. Now again, yes. The Bengals have got a high-powered offense. They've got a very good quarterback. They've got some good players. I get it, but you have got to do better. We've got to do better on defense. We really do, man.
Absolutely.
A lot to be desired on defense.
There is a lot to be desired on defense. I mean, corners. We can talk about corners. Sam's still getting burnt again.
Ghost, whatever you want to call him. Sam's still playing out on the corner, on the boundary. That's not his position. Don't play him there. He got burnt toast as well. Just stop doing it, man. I understand we don't have any good players at corner. I get it, and we don't have a great pass rush. I get that as well, which is going to intertwine with it, with the corners being killed as well, because no pass rush equals more time for the QB, which equals the receivers to get open more, and you're going to get burnt. I understand that. But I'm saying that we don't have a lot of top quality players that are game wreckers. You know what I mean? So it's
Jesse's raised a good. Jesse raised a good point here in the chat. He said the D will make us fail this season. I kind of agree with you, Jesse. I mean, we have to look squarely at what we talk. We'll get on in a minute, but because we've got quite a lot of questions on the defense, but we've got to get into the meat and the veg, if you like, of what we're talking about here. I mean, the guys up front, Daron Payne and John Allen. Where are they? This isn't the same two that we've had for the last few seasons where we can rely on them. They look like they're doing things. I've heard a lot of people say double teams. There's a lot of double teams going on. I can see that too.
It was against the Giants. I can see that. A lot of double teaming against them.
But
now
there's no pass rush at all in this team. It's really difficult. And if you've got struggling corners, the way to make this better for your team is to have a pass rush and to have something that can get home. There's a few times where like Payne, for example, on one play, he is all over I think it was the running back actually, and he's got him banged to rights, and then he wiggles out, and then a 2 yard loss becomes a 12-yard gain.
Yeah, we're not finishing plays on defense. The guys that you can see it. They're trying to arrive violently, like you say. They're trying to hit these guys hard, like a hit stick type move, but they're not wrapping up players. So we don't get it perfect. The guy just bounces off them. And they're gone. And exactly the same thing you mentioned there with Payne. It's exactly the same thing. He gets there, he kind of half tackles, tries to hit the guy, and the guy fucking spins out the way. We're not finishing plays, and that's across the whole board. We're not finishing plays, and especially tackling. It's not good. Now again, I say arrive violently, try and cause turnovers. Yeah, I get it, right? But first thing you got to do, man, is fucking tackle the guy and make sure he doesn't get any more yak. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just the end of this. It's just obvious. I'm just not I'm not impressed at the moment at all with the defense.
So we've had quite a lot of questions on this. So I'll start off with one of the questions that we've got. Tony J. Wheat. He is. You can find him on Twitter. He also does work for Full Press NFL. He asks, "How do you fix the defense?
How do you fix it?
Is it coaching? Is it down to tackle practice?
Well, the offense. I mean, if you're going to talk to me before this week just gone, I'd be saying the offense needs a lot of work. Well, obviously the coaches have got the grips into them, and they've done a hell of a lot, amazing job from one week to the other. So I'm not expecting the same thing on defense, but shows that the coaching can help, and the schemes has got to be better as well. Because at the moment, I'm not seeing a true cohesive team on defense. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing that they're all in sync as one. I think Allen and Payne don't even talk to each other outside the game. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell, like, you're just two dudes. I know they had a fight a few years back, but I mean, I'm talking like, I reckon that's how it's been ever since for 3 years. So that's not great. You get rid of Ridgeway, who's probably one of our better run blockers. So what's happening now is that we're getting gashed up the middle, even though we shouldn't be, because you've got people like Wagner there, but they're still getting in. So and obviously with our edge rushes are just crap. I mean, they are really just crap. I mean, Baptiste was a great sack, but in general, he's going to come up once in the blue moon. He's not going to be Mr. Consistent. He's not going to give you 8 to 10 to 12 sacks a year. He's not going to do that. So our guys really going to be setting the edge and hoping the interior guys are actually going to produce the pass rush, which they haven't been doing, and that's the reason why they're.
Yeah, I agree with what you're trying to say there, Scouse. Your internet's nipped out again. I agree with exactly what Deuce has put up in the chat here, saying that Witt is trying to move people in and out and trying to find the right groupings. I've got faith in Joe Witt Jr. I think he will get this right, especially with DQ. Especially with DQ being a defensive head coach as well. I think they will get this right. I think the grouping is there, but I'm struggling. I mean, imagine if we did get Parsons at the trade deadline.
Get Parsons at the trade deadline. Yeah,
that's ridiculous. That'd be nice. But no, in all seriousness, I think
there's Chase as well.
It's
not Chase Young. I'm talking Chase, Jamar Chase.
it's tough because looking at it, we're going to have to struggle on with this. This is the team we've got. There isn't much we can go off. Our corners are not working in tandem. Emmanuel Forbes Jr. back this week. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do here, but we have come up against the high-powered offense. We have to take that into account and hope that they do arrive violently and that we finish off plays and finish off tackles. Scott G says Scouse's internet is our defense in full struggle mode. Absolutely
you're not wrong,
right.
man. You're not wrong.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
So frustrating.
The media hoopla that's going around Scouse, obviously straight after Jaden Daniels. Now, I'm not interested in this. I mean, Canada Mike gave us a great question. He said, after years of negativity, in some vain attempt to convince the rest of us that they're psychic, are you surprised at how many users on social media started their Tuesday morning messages with called it or told you or nobody believed me, having deleted last week's ex-correspondence? Yeah, man, this is probably a sizzle moment for you. How many people want to now put their fan cards back in after week 3's win? I've seen so many people on social media.
It's how fickle our fan base is. It really is. It's really fickle. I mean, the diehards are always going to be here through the bad and the good. And as you say, most of the time it has been bad. But yeah, those fans do piss me off. They do. It's like if you're a Redskins fan or a Commanders fan, you know, you got to be there through thick and thin. You can't fuck around and just be like, oh, well, you know, we're playing shit, so I'm going to support Baltimore. And then when we start to become good, time to go fucking back. You know what I mean? No, forget that. You can't do shit like that. If that's your kind of way of being, then the Commanders or the Redskins don't need you as a fan because you're not a real fan. You're a fake fan. You're just in the moment trying to get some goodness out of it. I'm just not having it,
Kyle says, great question, looking at Lockhart. Yeah, man, we can't all be rah-rah all the time. Yeah, Kyle, I get that. I'm a positive fan, or I try and be as positive as I possibly can. Scouse is a realist, he calls himself.
I call myself realist. But yeah, asking these questions, mate. I mean, yeah, man, it does piss me off. Like, as a fan, your fans are meant to be together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Your bubble of people, it's 80,000, 100,000, whatever it is, and then not just at the stadium in DC or in England or whatever, and actually, you know, try and be on the same page and don't go, now I'm going to support this fucking team. No, what the hell's that about? You can't do it.
I mean, I've always
can't deal with that.
Yeah, I've always found that a bit weird as a European or an English person looking at this. We follow our team through thick and thin. And it never changes. Once you've got your team, that's it. You've got your team.
How does the glory feel when you win? When you've been shy for so long, and then you become great, or become great one time, and it means more. Do you know what I mean? It means more than just going to the next team that's winning. Oh, I'm going to be a Kansas City fan now because they're doing well. No, because that's just great they were winning, but that's not really your team. It doesn't feel the same.
How weird was that being in that weird Kansas City bar in the middle of DC?
Yeah. Especially when they cheated to win as well, fuckers. But yeah.
Yeah, anyway. Richard, going back to our previous point, Richard Cameron, who is at Mr. Richard Cameron, he said, lads, earlier in this week, I mentioned to Christian Burt that I felt Allen and Payne may have lost the eye of the tiger since they got paid. What do you think? And what can DQ and Witt Jr. do to get these guys back to the performances that we've seen in the past?
I mean, if people like DQ can't motivate the guy, well, then the guy can't be motivated. It's simple as that. He's one of those. He's one of those coaches, DQ, that people would run through walls for. You know what I mean? So, if these guys aren't willing to do that for him, then they need to be shipped out. If they can't motivate Payne or Allen, then one or two of them got to go. Simple as that. I think. Not Payne. I think Allen will be gone. I think he'll be gone before trade deadline.
Yeah, I actually think so too. I think he'll be away in the trade deadline. I really do, and I think we might look at some sort of compensation from whichever team we get it from in the way of someone from the secondary. I think a cornerback coming in, that sort of thing. It's going to be very tough. Scott, to some extent, I agree with you. Last week's performance is setting up for a roller coaster crash that will come after a bad week. Because we're not a good team. We're not a good team.
We've got to accept Jaden cannot be like that every single week.
No,
If he is, he's
be.
going to be the next genuine GOAT if he can do that every single week. But he can't. He is going to have down games. He's going to be played badly. He will throw a pick at some point. These things are going to happen. It just depends, can we hold on? Can we still win the game when we're not playing as good? That's the key. And obviously, as you mentioned, we're not such a great team at the moment.
No, we're not. We have holes, and we knew this.
Is really somebody else's D game. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the problem, because of the lack of talent, especially on defense. So it's a...
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Arch Deluxe is saying, and he said you can only be real with a pessimistic take. Can real not be balanced take and a positive view of how things can go right? And then obviously Burgundy's own Kyle said it's PTSD. It is. We've had shit for my entire fandom. My entire fandom has been terrible, apart from a few little ups here and there, and then to look at Monday and go, oh my God, look, this is where we could potentially be, and know that you've potentially got a real one in the QB. It's like, hold on, where are we going here? All we wanted from this draft was to find potentially a left tackle of the future. We needed to find a kicker, which we seem to have found, and we needed to know that Jaden is the answer at QB. Everything else doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. We have to be... I've pleaded for months and months and months for patience with this team. And now it's got me on the hype train and everybody else in the fandom going, oh my God, look at what we've just done. And as Scott G said, to his point there, it's inevitably going to come up... The train's going to come off the tracks at some point. And we've just got to be prepared for that and wait and say, well, okay, we've just got to be patient, Scouse.
Because it was so unexpected, I think that's the thing. It was against a team, realistically, I think 9 out of 10 of us thought we were going to lose that game.
Yep.
Besides Mike 12 wins, I mean, I don't think anybody else said we're going to win that game. You know what I mean? So if that's the case, then, and then to produce such a completely different level than what we've seen before from our offense is amazing. It's fantastic. And, I love it. But again, you realistically, the realist in me, not the hater in me that Jesse thinks I'm a hater, which is considering that he thinks Tay McLaurin's only not even a top 25 receiver. So, okay, that's him being realistic there. Yeah, okay, Kyle. Yeah, you had them winning. Yeah, all right, bro.
I reckon he did. He's that fan, man.
I think
I'll look at the receipts.
You were tongue in cheek.
I'll go back and look at the receipts. I'm sure he did. I'm with Kyle on that one.
And Deluxe mentions here, Monday show we can compete.
Correct, yeah.
And that's all we wanted. And that was the goal. We mentioned it so many times before. We wanted to be competitive against these teams. We wanted to show up and go, actually, we can actually beat these teams at times. Yeah, you won't win every game, but we're in the game. We're there, and that's all we're asking for at this moment. So, as I say, it's nice. It's nice to be two. Are we top of the division at the moment?
We are top of the division 2-1. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice, yeah, man, it's all good.
But we're in week 4, coming up to week 4, Scouts. It's we're not looking at tables now. I mean, when we get to maybe week 6 or 7, that's when we need to say, yeah, okay. You know what I mean? That's when you want to start looking and saying, where could we potentially be? But we can score points, we can compete, and that's what we said before. It's what we said before the season started. As long as you see people bleeding for that shirt, dying for what that shirt is, and saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to compete my arse off at every opportunity. If you get beat by a better side, you get beat by a better side. If you put in 100% effort.
Showed that, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
They're a better team than us, Even though they got embarrassed last week.
Yeah, they did against the Broncos. But you're like, okay.
Broncos, yeah.
But it's one of them where our defense is probably going to let us down a couple of times here, but it's the hope for the... As Rod said here, the difference from now is it's the hope for the future. Do you know what I mean? It's the hope for the future of where we can go, and the future is real, and we can see in the seasons to come that we'll have a powerhouse again, but there is going to be ups and downs. Absolutely, it's going to be a bumpy road, 100%. And people just need to realise that it's going to be a bumpy road. Think about where we are now after week 3 going into week 4. Under this, and it's not a recalibration, it is a rebuild, let's call it what it is. Where we are now, where are we going to be in 2 years if we can potentially keep this together? And as we said, if Jaden's the answer, which it looks like he is, I'm not going to crown him yet, but it looks like absolutely he is the best of what we've seen in God knows how many years. where can we be in 2 years' time? That's when your window opens. That's when things start working. That's probably what people like AP, like DQ are banking on. Not going into next season's off season going, hey, we know where we need help now. We'll fix that. Then going, right, can we make playoff runs? Then the following season, it's right, the window is open now. This is our chance to get deep into the playoffs. And I think that is where we're going to. We've seen rebuilds before under other stewardship, like Ron Rivera's term, where it was, oh yeah, it's going to be a slow progression build, and we never got there. This time, I think is genuinely real. I think everything's great going off the field. I think everything's great going on the field, especially after a win like that, mate. So, yeah. Anything else on the? Do you want to focus on it a little bit on the defense or from this game? Or what are you saying?
It's exciting times. That offensive performance there shows, one, we can score points. Now, people saying the Bengals defense is a bad defense. It was that close way of beating Pat Mahomes at Arrowhead.
There you go. You know that's exactly what Kyle just said there. That same defense forced 2 interceptions on Mahomes. Yeah, exactly right.
Exactly. 0 interceptions against our guy, by the way. 2 against the best in the NFL. So you see what I mean. So that defense isn't. We made it look worse than it is. That's what a sign of a good offense. It makes a decent defense look real bad, because it did look bad. We put 38 on them. Do you know what I mean? They couldn't stop us at all. So, but again, that's because we played well on offense, not because they were like down. I mean, it did help that Hendrickson was hurt, and I think Coleman destroyed him, and that's the reason why he got hurt. Yeah, which was nice to see.
What a pancake block that was!
Yeah,
that was
nice. That was nice to see him smoking a really good pass rusher. So again, there's nice signs. There's signs now that Coleman's looking okay. Yeah, he's still in and out with Lucas, but he's looking like he's getting his reps, and he's improving. And they say he's doing well against some of these good rushers, you know. And the only thing I've got to say is the defense is gaff. I mean, you look at, we played a decent offense in Tampa. We can see that how many? 38 was it? Something like 37, something like that.
Yeah.
Late 30s, I'd say. Then we played a bad offense in the Giants, and they still scored 3 touchdowns, by the way. You know, okay, go away with that one. And then we got Joe Burrow, we put 30 odd on us. So the defense has got major problems. It really does. I don't care what people say about, this and that.
37, 18, and 33.
Yeah, and to be fair, the Giants probably would have beaten us if they had a kicker.
I don't disagree.
I'm not trying to be elbow with that. It just is, because they were going for things on the 4th down that they wouldn't be going for. They'd be taking 3 points. The extra points, they had to go for 2. All these things, and it worked in our favor. We got away with that one. But that's Dayball's fault. I blame Dayball. That's his own fault for not picking a kicker who was actually ready to play, not being injured. You get a hamstring all week, and then you get injured in the first kickoff. Anyway, but what I'm trying to say, my point is the defense really needs to step up, man. Because you can't expect Jaden to put 38 every time on the board. You can't expect it. So they've got to sort something out, man.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a quick question here. Is it time that you give a little... I know you gave credit to the offensive line, but is it time you gave a bit of credit to a certain Mr. Turnstile Wiley at right tackle? You're not going to do it. You're just not going to do it, are you?
I am. I'm going to give him some credit where he was good in the run game.
He was.
He wasn't that great. It was Jaden get out the way half the time. So, I mean, a good quarterback and an elusive quarterback can make an offensive line look a hell of a lot better than it is anyway. But, yes, he was good in the run game, but pass pro still a lot to be desired. So, it's Jaden's elusivity is what kind of masked over papered over the cracks, shall we call it, with Turnstile's.
So, I've looked at the stats, and this offensive line is currently ranked 5th on most major statistical performances.
How many times, if you had a statue back there, though, if you had, say, I don't know, who's statue? Rivers. Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
No, I know he's retired now, but just say that. Just say you had someone like that who's standing back there all day. You couldn't run for shit. How many sacks you would have? And I'm not being funny, you would have a lot. We would have a lot of sacks. So it's,
Exactly. I agree with Deluxe. The Turnstile had a do not enter sign on this week. Come on, give him his flowers.
He was good in one
I
game. He
think
was
that's.
bang average in pass, bro. I mean, that's the best you
I
could
didn't
get
think he
from me
was.
with it.
I didn't think he was that. I didn't think he was that bad in pass pro, man. I think you need to watch
Jaden
that
saved
back.
his ass a few times.
I think the offensive line this week was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. Moving forward, and now that they are statistically fifth in the league, can we say that we've actually not got a bad offensive line? It's not as bad as we thought it was. Or are you gonna hold out on that?
Because of the quarterback though as well.
Do you think it's also scheming to hide deficiencies? Maybe.
Of course. I mean, it's all part of it. You know what I mean? Like, the short passing game, the quick passing game, that was always going to be about helping the O line, and helping Jaden as well get his confidence. That's the idea. So this is why I mentioned what we mentioned before about Cliff. Cliff was called a superb game last week.
He did. He was amazing.
He did. He went short when he should have went short. He went long when he should have went long. And, all the decisions, most of them, 98% of it was spot on. So, you can't, that's as close as to, I know it sounds bad, perfection as you're going to get. So, we can't expect that every week where you're going to get 38 points every week.
So we got into some questions, mate, before we get on to preview the Arizona Cardinals game on Sunday. We've got a few questions here. Andy Burrows, Washington UK fan, host of the Bunker Pod. If you haven't subscribed to the Bunker Pod, which also has my co-host Scouse and Jesse on, go and give them a listen, a subscribe, and watch them on YouTube. He says, would you rather sneeze or fart every time you orgasm?
Why would you even actually put that question on here?
I don't know.
I mean, why would you even answer? Why did you even put it on there?
Sensible. We were having a laugh.
That's not sensible at all.
Come on.
We're talking football, not fucking shite like that. You know what I mean?
Answer the question, Scouse. And for me, it's a fart.
I'm not answering it. I'm going flaming. I'm pleading the fifth.
Pleading the fifth, right. Darren, back to football. Darren Hafley says, we've demonstrated that we have huge reliance on JD. What is plan B if or when he goes down? Would the current playbook work for a QB2?
Well, I think you'd have
I don't even want that juju. I don't want that juju, Darren. So no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not having that question.
I don't. Yeah, obviously, I don't want to see Jaden getting hurt at all. I was shitting myself literally when I saw him get smoked in the Giants game when we were there, and he was on the floor for a while. I was like, oh no, this is the fucking another quarterback injured in the second game of the season, and disaster. But obviously, he was fine. But so I don't want to hear any of that. But if the worst did happen and he wasn't able to play, then you would have to change it. You would have to change it up a bit. I mean, because Driscoll, he can run, so maybe they could use some of the running plays that they use from Jaden at the moment as well. And
I love the fact that you're calling Driscoll QB2 straight away. Well, he kind of is. I don't know what's going on with Marcus Mariota, but
he's an IR anyway, so it doesn't matter either way. If he went down now, then Driscoll's playing. So, but I think he's better than Mariota anyway. I think he's crap. So
he's got a great handoff. That one play, yeah, it was a good handoff.
Yeah. But yeah, man. You would have to change it, of course. Every quarterback's different, and any coordinator worth the salt would have to change up the playbook depending on who you've got under center.
Craig Alexander on Twitter, great guy. Loved being out in the States with him and his son. He really enjoyed the game. I mean, he was quite emotional when obviously singing "When Hail to the Redskins" went round the stadium. Don't know if you've seen that. Shout out to Craig. He's a top lad. He said, "Yeah, is Jaden Daniels the greatest quarterback ever?" I mean, at the moment, with our fan base, probably is, Craig. Yeah, he probably is. But I get where you're coming from on a high, mate. I completely understand where you're coming from. Next one is...
Give me a few more years of that, mate, what you've been doing last week. Give me a few more years, then I might be on that train with you.
100%. I'll buy a ticket to that one too. Cameron McDonald, who is at FK Commanders fan, and also he does the Friday Football Pod, which is at Friday for Football, FITBA. Friday Night Football Pitch is what it's called. You can go and subscribe and listen to that if you want to have a bit of Scottish and other football-related podcasts there. He said, where can Kingsbury's offence take us to this season?
I don't think you can get better than what we had this week. I really don't.
Unbelievable.
I really don't. There's not a lot you could say. You needed a scheme for this, or needed a scheme for that, or just lots more of this. What we've just seen. Just give me more of this, and that's the. Well, I think we've hit kind of like a natural.
A peak. That's it, isn't it? That's the peak. Yeah, I agree.
It's difficult to get better than what that is. We had. I mean, how many drives did we have? Was it 6, 7 drives? And we scored on all of them. The only difference is, could you make that field goal into a touchdown? Oh wow, we're massively nitpicking here. Do you know what I mean? So even for me, who likes to moan about people, so it's if you can keep doing what we're doing from this week, that's the bar. If you can reach that again, we'll win most games because we'll get 30+ points every time.
I mean, that isn't, and I think that's totally unrealistic.
It is unrealistic. But if you mention how far can Kingsbury's offense take us? I think we've seen it. I think you've seen it already. Now it's about being consistent there. Do you know what
the problem is, though? And I put this juju out there, probably bad juju, and I'll touch wood on it. But I said if he continues like this, and it's a great offense throughout the entire season, is he likely to be poached at the end of the season for a head coaching 100%. Job?
If you're getting anywhere, if he's getting anywhere near what he did this week on the regular for the next 10 weeks, whether it's 15, 12 weeks, yeah, 100%, he'd be going to a head coaching job somewhere else, 100%. Damn straight, Viscount, lucky hat. He wore the lucky hat.
He did. We'll keep wearing it then. Keep wearing it.
Yeah, keep wearing it, man, every day. Yeah, man. Go on, mate.
I was very impressed with Kingsbury and how he called the offense, going into the playbook, digging out. I mean, when we went long and attacked, but it just looked so solid, and the rhythm and the timing, everything was there. There was nothing that was missing on Monday night, and he just called a perfect game. And sometimes you have to do that.
And what I loved about that as well was that he went after that Taylor Burnt, as I call him. Taylor Burnt, his name is.
Yeah, Taylor Burnt.
Yeah, I mean,
not bad for a college offense, Scouse, eh?
Yeah, it's not bad for college offense. That's what I mean, man. That was bulletin board info right there. DQ probably put it up on the dressing room and to our boys.
100%.
They'd be like, fucking what? You know what I mean? And then Cherry's like, give me the ball. I'll burn him. And exactly what he did do. So, yeah, I love that he let Jaden actually do it as well. You know what I mean? He let Jaden throw deep like that. So, again, man, yeah, it's just nice to go, fuck off. You know what I mean? So Britt was like, it wasn't then Taylor pissed off the head coach after the game?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. He was fuming.
It was brilliant.
Yam Sensei at Yam Starch, top guy. Nice to meet him when we went out to the States. Mm-hmm. Great guy. Always a subscriber and contributor to this pod, so we thank you, Yam. He's also in every single person's pod, so shout out to Yam. Be more like Yam. He's a good guy. He said, how to fix the secondary and the missed tackles across the defense, but we have the players that we have.
Yeah, so we can't just go,
get in this. Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I think at trade deadline there will be some changes. I think there will be some changes here.
I think Alan's going to be the major piece that we're going to use, maybe with some of our picks, to go and get somebody. Now I don't know what position. I'm hoping it's a corner, but again, it could be anything. Let's say he's on different wavelengths to all us Peters, and that's why he gets paid what he does. But yeah, man. That's going to be. It's so hard to try and fix this defense. I mean, you can try and scheme up stuff, but there's only so much you can do if you keep missing tackles. If guys are bouncing off you and getting an extra 5 or 10 every time yak wise, it's not. The defense. It's not good enough. And then you leave our corners 1-on-1 with a good receiver. They're dead meat because the guys can't compete. I mean,
I think to be honest with you though as well.
But these guys can't. They're not ball hawks. They can't. They can't do it. They're just not good enough.
The thing with that is as well, any elite wide receiver that you leave on a cornerback, the corner's going to struggle. They're going to struggle.
Especially if you give the quarterback time, which is what we're doing. You know what I mean?
Well, we're playing a lot of man. So do you go to a press? Do you know what I mean? Do you press them?
I think playing press. I think that the receiver will outmuscle our guys. Do you know what I mean? I mean, St. Ghost can do a little bit of that, but again, he's too much hands to the face. That's the problem with him. He's like Josh Norman, a bit like that as well. That low hands to the face job when you put him in press man. So it's difficult because I'd say you've got so many different schemes you could try, and a mixture, and you can even do a mixture of all, bit of man here, bit of zone, even in the same play, stuff like that. But it's trying to make it simplified enough that the defense gets it, that they're all on the same page. And at the moment, the secondary is not on the same page. I mean, we saw it last week. They were trying to set up, waiting for the pre-snap, and they're all over the place trying to shout to each other, like trying to get the play across. And it's like, mate, you should know what this is. They should be, you should have heard it once and kind of know where you're meant to be. And they weren't. And last week was the same. And this is why we're getting one. This is why we're letting Jamar Chase one-on-one with our corners. You do that and you give Burrow time, you're going to get killed. It's as simple as that, and that's exactly what Chase did. He did what he should have done. He burnt us. And good receivers will do that. Good offenses will do that. Even half decent offenses will do that. I mean, even the Giants will put three on us with Malik Neighbors. You know what I mean? So, it's.
I think Malik Neighbors is an elite wide receiver, though. I'm going to call it now. He is an unbelievable receiver. I think he's going to be very, very good in this league.
But look who had thrown from Danny Dimes, and he's making him look like he's world class again. I mean, our defense just isn't cutting it now. Was there some flashes in that game last week? Yeah, sure. There was the deep ball where Chin got across, and that was really nice play, really nice coverage, and he read it well. So there's little snippets of good play in the defense, but most of it is just trash. It really is.
I think going back to what we said,
how to fix
going back to what we said earlier,
it
is tough because with the same current players you've got, it's tough to fix that. But going back to what we had
Johnny
before,
Newton's going to be a star.
That's it. That's exactly it.
The game record when he's 100% healthy again. At the moment, he's doing okay. He's holding his own, but he's not really lighting it up. I was expecting a little bit more, but again, I understand he's coming back from injury, so I can't expect him to be at 100% yet. But then that's what I'm saying. You just don't have a lot of quality players. Like even Bobby Wagner. I mean, he's quality against the run, but even then, you've seen him been gashed a few times, right up the middle. You see it a few times, and it's difficult because if you use Louvu as a natural linebacker rusher, then you're leaving Wagner on his own, and he's awful in coverage. So if you that's one thing about Wagner's really bad at is coverage. So if you put anything near him and he's got to run out to the flats, Wagner's getting beat every time. And man. It's,
so do we need someone like McGee in that position?
I'm hoping he start playing a bit more. But they haven't really done. They haven't only given him.
Well, he's on IR. He's on IR.
McGee, is he there?
Yeah, Jordan McGee's on IR. Yeah.
Who's the guy who came and played practice? Not practice squad. He's on special teams. I thought it was him. No,
I think McGee's on IR. I think he went down with a knee injury, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, corners are always going to get burnt against receivers. Rod's correct in what he's saying there, but it's tough. I think the scheme needs to.
That's
be
why we need to get pass rush. We need either top draw corners or top draw edge rushes. That's what we need.
Yeah, I've got another question here. Christian Burt from UK HTTC blogs. He is at Christian Burt on X. Go and follow him. Also, there's a really good blog post for you. You can just Google search UK HTTC blogs. He said, I know we gave up 33 points, but did we witness the Quinn desire to hunt down the football versus the Bengals? And can the Commanders' defense start to complement the offensive game?
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that it can, and it needs to be this bend, don't break defense to complement the offense. But I think we've just discussed it there. I think it's going to be really difficult to cover both sides of the ball to make it almost like a complete football team. We know we've got deficiencies, and unfortunately, this is going to let us down, as Jesse stated quite a long time ago in our chat. It's going to be a tough season ahead for the defense, and we'll have to take this one on the chin and go from there. Yeah, he's due back next week. Viscount said McGee. He's back for week five. I think it was a knee injury.
Yeah, it was a knee injury. Yeah, but I thought there's somebody else.
Was it an MCL sprain? I think.
Yeah, it needed an operation, didn't he? Yeah, that's why he was out.
Yeah.
Okay. So hopefully when he comes back, I mean that could be something that could give us a bit of a boost to the linebacker position. I'm hoping F.A. Abada could do something as well, but the problem is with him is that, coming back from a really bad injury like that, it's going to take him half a season to get ready. Do you know what I mean? To get really match sharp again. So I don't know if he'll make a big impact straight away. I hope he does, touch wood, but Again,
Was it Dominic Hampton you were looking for special teams? Is that who you were thinking about? Because Baptiste, Rod said Baptiste is a guy on special teams. Baptiste got a sack as well,
but
playing on
Baptiste
edge.
Yeah,
so I think it's Hampton is the safety.
I think it was Hampton. I'm looking confused with. But yeah, man. Right. I mean, Scott G's right there as well. We've got to give him some time as well. At the end of the day,
it's 3 weeks. Yeah,
it's only 3 weeks in, and there's a lot more football to play, and
that's it. Offense. Innovates and defenses adapt. And how long does it take for your defense to adapt and get to the levels it needs to get to? So it's going to be very tough. Another question in. We've got one from Hot Take Freddie. Freddie Ham. Shout out to Freddie. Sat next to him at the game. Great guy. He said, would Margaret Thatcher be a good candidate for our next team president? Well, she's dead, Freddie. So probably not. Yeah. And as an ex-prime minister who was a very controversial figure, shall we put it slightly, probably not, mate, to be fair. And we don't do politics on this show. If you're from
working class backgrounds, you wouldn't like Thatcher.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not. Well, there's some good things. I get what you say. I get what you're saying. There's some good things, but there's some very, very bad things.
All the coal things got shut down because of it.
Oh, I know, mate. I know. Don't have to tell me, mate. I'm from mine work stock, so yep, I know exactly where you're coming from with that one. Scott G, he's asked in our chat, and he's also asked us a question. He said, "What does the team need to do to make, and what does the team need to do for you to make another trip across the pond this season?"
Oh, it's got to be a playoff game.
Yeah, it has to be done.
It has to be a playoff game. I mean, if a playoff game. I mean, yeah, if you can get a home game, that'd be amazing.
Oh my god, yeah,
yeah. But also, you'd have to win the division to get that.
Yeah, you would.
That's quite difficult. But yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, I think that would be the only thing that would bring me back this year. I think.
I think so too. I mean, it is the costs.
Kicking the nads every time, like you love to go, but then you see your bank balance, shit,
I know it's like 3 weeks till payday now, and I'm oh no. But it's all right, man. It's all good. Man. It's all good.
Unless we get a GoFundMe page going for us, and
that's what I'm saying. Let's get Cash App, PayPal. It's all nice. We'll put it in the bio. Why not? The GoFundMe Scouse and Scott trip. Yeah, I love it. Other questions that we've got in here while Scouse has frozen. We have you're here. It's Paul Fiander Turner, who is at having a Radox on X. He said, seeing as we know our new quarterback is incredibly adaptable and very, very quick to learn, as in leg slides, running his own audibles are just 2 examples, what should he focus on his next phase of his development?
I mean, I just think, it's a good question. I mean, I just think you just got to continue to do what he's doing.
Correct.
Just keep doing what he's doing. Just keep putting the work in. Just finding weaknesses in his own game, and going using the VR set and going with the coaches and just working on those little that extra 1-2% could be the difference. Between a proper stud quarterback or bang average guy. So keep doing what he's doing, man. You've seen the progression already, so just keep doing what he's doing for now.
I think he's just got to trust in his reads a bit more. And not always. I'm not saying he looks to bail out, which he doesn't. Proved that on Monday, where it was a bit starting off dink and dunk. I think he just needs to maybe not concentrate. That's probably the wrong word. Just maybe needs to look a little bit more to think, oh, there is an open receiver there that I can throw this to my second read or my third read, and not necessarily bail out immediately. And when he does bail out, could he keep the play going by throwing? Instead of just bailing out and running off to the side.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, that's a couple of things that you could potentially work on. But again, when nitpicking, Paul, absolutely nitpicking after a performance like that.
For me, it's like let him do what he does.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
If he keep giving me performance like this week, you can do what the hell you want. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, man. I mean, Viscount mentions I can see a big running game from JD5 this week. Yeah, it might need
possibly.
To be.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cards are no joke. They've got a really good offense, sneaky good offense. Defense wise, yeah, some areas you can attack definitely, but they've still got some decent secondary guys. Butter Baker's still there and stuff like that. So they've still got some decent players. But But yeah, man, we'll see. Might need it, man. That's a bit of big running game.
Might need it
From
too.
him.
Jesse says, how sustainable is the Commanders' offense? How much does it hurt that Eckler won't be playing? And who impressed you the most? And who has impressed you the least? I'm not sure about the season so far, but yeah, if you haven't already, go and subscribe to the Bleeding Burgundy podcast on YouTube. Go and give them a watch. Myself, Jesse, and John Taman and Max Taman, we're on all the time. By the looks of it, we're pretty much on every night at the minute. But it's it's a really good crack with them three. So go and give that a watch. So yeah, who's impressed you the most this season? Who's impressed you the least? And is the Commanders' offense sustainable? And now that Eckler's not playing, what's your thoughts?
Well, Eckler is. I mean, I was one of the first guys to say Eckler's still got a lot to offer. People saying he was finished, he was too old, he's got all these injuries. Most of his injuries were ankle related, by the way. But again, he was getting the ball 30 times a game. That's not. You see how small he is. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not really built to be the true bell cow, and he was the bell cow there for a while. Over at the Chargers. So, and did a good job until he gets hurt every season. So for me, is he going to be a big miss? Yeah, he is. I think it's mostly on the zone runs and also the kind of the short passing game to him as well. I think, he was opening doors that Robinson wasn't. Robinson struggled when he went out. When Eckler went out, Robinson struggled to get with the run. They knew that he was just going to run the ball and he was getting 1 or 2 yards. It was pretty low. He struggled a bit, and he's definitely going to be missed. You'll definitely feel you'll feel is that he's missed. You'll notice it. Should I say?
I mean, there's a bit on here like Viscount's put in. Would you like to see Wiley called up? Rodriguez is still there.
Pre-season, Wiley.
He did.
So why not? Why not give him a shot? I'm happy to see that.
And McNichol's the second back now, isn't he? So
yeah, McNichol, and again, he is more of a pass. He's more of a third down back. More short passing game type stuff. So you never know. You might really produce today. This week. He might have a really good game. He might be the sneaky guy that might have a really good game, McNichol. So we'll see.
And back to Eckler, to Jesse's point there, Scouse. We had the TD run that got chalked off. We had the run at the start of the second half. He is lightning at these kickoff returns at the moment. And I was like, wow, where... I mean, I actually missed that, to be fair. I was in the kitchen and I thought, it's not started yet. And then I look at the WhatsApp group and everyone's going, yeah. And I'm like, what happened there? I had to rewind it back and have a look. I was like, oh, nah. So I missed his run. But he is lightning. He is lightning on kickoffs.
Yeah, and you can see that he's got that vision, though. That's what sets him apart from, say, Igbenogany, who's been doing it. You see the difference. You see a difference in once he gets the ball, he can see the gaps. He's a running back, you know what I mean? And he's a guy who's been an elusive running back in his career, so he sees the gaps. Yeah. So that's why he's got that vision. He's got that high level vision that a cornerback wouldn't have. Do you know what I mean? So, he's definitely going to be missed on kickoffs.
And who's impressed you the most, and who has impressed you the least this year?
Or not in total or offense?
Yeah, let's just go for it. Both sides, whatever you think.
I think
overall,
who's impressed me the least? I think my boy Sanistril.
It's a tough call that, but yeah.
I loved it. I've been calling for him best slot corner in the draft. Get this guy. He's top draw. He hasn't done anything yet for us, to be honest. Now again, I know there's a lot of revolving door at the moment. Corners are out or swapping around with the safeties or blah 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 blah. But yeah, he's not looked good. He's not looked good yet. Hoping he obviously starts to step it up a little bit. But I'm obviously going to give him time. But at the moment, he's been probably one of the biggest disappointments. Really, I expected more. Even though he is a rook. And who's impressed you the most? Well, you probably got to say Jaden.
Have to, yeah. You have to.
Even if you don't even add this game in, he's not turning the ball over. Do you know what I mean? Like he's at all. Like there's been no turnover issues there at all. So long may that continue. That's all you want at the start from your rookie, isn't it? Don't turn the ball over. Don't be like Caleb Williams throwing hero balls across your body, across the field, and getting picked off. Just don't be doing shit like that. And he hasn't. He hasn't even tried anything like that. You can tell like that he's comfortable in what he does. Do you know what I mean? Where Caleb thinks he's got to fucking do everything right now, every single time. And no, don't have to. Just be smart with the ball, man. Smart. And Jaden's been that. So
I mean, there's been quite a few impressive performances from me this season. Who I'm quite impressed with. Zach Ertz has come on.
Who's the most though?
The most impressive has to be Jaden. There's no question about it. Other than him, I'd say Robinson has been impressive. He's had a couple of really good games. It wasn't so good on Monday. I get that, but against Giants, he was brilliant, and he's come on strong. Eckler the same. You can say he's come on strong. Of the rookie class, quite enjoyed McCaffrey on Monday night. I thought he was very good in what he was doing. Who's been most disappointing for me or worst? John Allen, been very poor. Jeremy Chin hasn't done an enormous amount for me this year. Quan's starting to pick it up, so I mean he hasn't had an amazing last couple of games.
You could pick any of the defensive players.
Yeah, defensive players. Let's be honest, it's going to be a defensive player, but yeah, it is what it is. Rob Morrison, he put a question into us. He said, "What a game! Turnstile was great as a run blocker, but not so good on pass protection, especially inside." Coleman was impressive. What he did to Hendrickson impressed me. Allegretti showed up, and KK designed plays to mask our weaknesses. The defense was a worry, but given we're worried about the O-line going into the season, there's no issue. The issue seems to be the D-line. Do we trade John Allen if Newton looks good? And if so, do you see a move coming in on the other side of the ball, i.e. a corner?
Well, I mean, the thing is, you see, corners are prime positions, man. Like,
yeah,
very rare that you see a top level guy in their prime getting traded away, unless you're offering insane stuff. And we're not going to do that. Peters is he's one of them guys who'd rather go through the draft.
Agreed.
So it's a difficult one. Would I trade John Allen if Newton's 100% healthy, close to trade deadline? Yeah, I would. I would trade John Allen. He doesn't want to be there. You can tell he doesn't want to be there. He's the first guy on the bus home. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. It's like, mate,
I don't know if he doesn't want to be there, Scouse. I just think there's something going on. And they probably need to get to what it is.
Because he wants to leave. That's probably what it is. But he's just not going to say, I want to trade. You know what I mean? Because that'll give him, that'll reduce his leverage. So I'd be like more, would I get him go? Yes. And what could you trade for him? You wouldn't get a lot for him because his contract's high. No. And he will need a new deal because he's got no guaranteed money left. So as soon as they trade, Allen's going to want a big deal. So for the new team. So it's kind of like, well, what can you do with that? You're not going to get a lot for him. I mean, you're lucky if you get a third. To be honest.
I was thinking a fourth, fifth, maybe. Are you there, Scouse?
I'm here, mate. Yeah. I say, how far did it go away?
No, you just said you went to. Oh, you'll be lucky if you get a third. I was saying a fourth or a fifth potentially is where I'm thinking.
Yeah. I say, be very lucky to get a third. So it's a hard one, man. It really is. We're stuck there a little bit. I'm just hoping that Newton is the real deal. Because if he is the real deal, then I don't mind trading him, even for a third or fourth. You know what I mean? So, but to go after a corner, or I'd love to go, or try and get a pass rusher. The interesting one could be the Micah Parsons thing. I know who mentioned it before. Someone mentioned it in the chat.
Ian, your brother.
Go and get Parsons. Yeah. I mean, he's got a contract problem with Dallas. Dallas can't afford all three. They've already paid two of their main boys. They can't afford what Parsons will want. We could.
So it's gone from Brandon Ayuk to now Parsons. That's where we're going.
No, That's where we're going. That'll give you a decent pass rusher right there, wouldn't it? That'd make a big difference it's not corner, but make a big difference to help our corners. Going to pay him big money, but we've got the money. That's always been the case. But yes, I mean, would that be amazing if DQ could try and pull him across? That'd be amazing. That, to be fair.
I know it really would be.
Yeah, but Jerry can't afford him. He's going to. How much do you reckon he'd probably want?
I have no idea.
Bosa money?
Probably.
TJ Watt money? Like 30 mil, 32 mil a year, something like
that? Yeah, probably.
You probably want something like that. You probably want elite pass rusher money.
That's a big contract.
It's a lot of money, but Scott G, zero chance.
He's right though. He's right though. It's not wrong.
Tell me, can Dallas afford to pay him? The answer's no. because they just paid 60 mil a year for Dak.
There's
Just
always a way that
140
people
mil
can
for
afford to this.
a bonehead. What's his name? CD Lamb. You know, tell you, he won't be
There's
at Dallas next year.
always a way that things get
obviously
done.
also somewhere else, but he won't be there next year.
So a few more. We've only got a few more questions left. So Commander Viscount, who is at John Bowden Grace on Twitter, he's also in our chat with us today. So thank you for being with us. He said, "Cowgirls at the Giants tonight. Who's going to win, and which is the best outcome for the Commanders? A tie."
For me, I want to see the Giants win.
Yeah, I do too. Actually, I want to see the Giants beat the Cowboys.
Fair, I don't like the Giants, but I hate Dallas. So I'd rather Dallas lose every single week. You know.
Yeah.
Plus, Dallas are the better team. So really, as in like longevity throughout the season, if Giants win this one, obviously it means one less win for Dallas, which means it might be easier for us to keep up with them, going forward. But yeah, for me, I'm going to be a Giants fan tonight.
Oh, that's terrible. You're not going to be a Giants fan. You're just going to be an onlooking bystander who wants the Giants to win.
Come on. Good play, long neck. Yeah. Good play, Danny Jones. Good play.
Oh, wow. He also said...
That's what I want to see. Hit neighbours for 60.
He also said, what have you seen in Brandon Coleman's development?
He's looking good. He's looked like he's definitely got the talent. He's got talent there. Quick feet as well for a big man. Very quick feet. And I think that's the thing that... I'm also going way...
Scott G, do you want to do a podcast every Thursday, mate, 3 p.m? I'm just wondering, because honestly...
Block me, I don't care. So for me, his footwork reminds me of Trent Williams' footwork.
He's so good the other night, though, as well.
On his feet, like he really is. So I just hope that, as I say, he just continues to improve, and he's looking good so far. But he's still a rook, and we've got to expect some ups and downs with him. So We'll see how he goes. But at the moment, I'm happy with him so far.
I think this interchanging with Cornelius Lucas will stop. I think this week is going to be. I think this week is going to be. This is going to be his week, Brandon Coleman. I think this is his week to start.
Fully. You play the full game.
I do.
An injury. Yeah.
I do. I really do. Deluxe, who's also in our chat, Arch Deluxe, who's part of the 54th movement. Go out and follow Arch Deluxe. He's in everybody's pod. Great guy. Drove an hour and a half to meet us.
I don't think this guy works, does he? Because he's always available to be like in every single one.
He's a top guy. He's a top guy, and you spent hours with him chatting shit. Actually, to be fair, so over a few beers, which was good. He said, "What progress has been made by the defense, and what players on D improved in week 3, and what players on defense need to step up for week 4?" That is a tough one.
Well, they all got to step up. I mean, that's easy to answer. They've all got to step up the level, man, because their level at the moment is probably flaming a D. that's their fucking D for fucking dire. So,
I honestly thought. Did you think? Yeah,
Chin certain plays, Chin looked quite good on. Chin. But again, there's a lot more to be desired still. But again, I can just see slight elements of improvement in Chin. Hopefully he'll be a lot better this week as well.
I thought Quan Martin had a very good game on Monday, actually, as well. I really do. If you watch it back, I thought he was very, very good. And specials were very good, but it's one of them. Rod, thank you as always, mate.
Dallas said they couldn't afford Henry. Henry only cost $8 million for the Ravens. Was that tell you?
Yeah, I know.
Dallas got no cash, bro. That's what it is.
Rod Knight, thank you for being with us, mate. We appreciate you. Always on our pod. So always in the chat, always sending questions in. So thank you for being with us. The Scott Squared podcast. It's got a good ring to it, that. It's got a good ring to it. I like that. But yeah. No more podcasts. No more podcasts for me. I'm all right. Our last question is actually from that very person who is in our chat there, Scott G. He said, what do you expect will be the top fan overreaction following the Arizona Cardinals game?
Ooh. The top fan
overreaction. Yeah. It's either going to be
something like, oh my God, Jaden's shit. He threw it interception.
Probably.
You know what I mean? Like, it'll be something like that, something crazy. Yeah, I'd be like, oh, yeah. It'd be something to do with Jaden Daniels, I think.
Or it'll be he's the Messiah. He's unbelievable.
I told you to go when he didn't. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It'll definitely be something to do. It will be something to do with Jaden, I think. Good or bad?
So last part of the show, mate. We'll get into the week 4 matchup at Arizona. Obviously, at the moment, the Commanders are training in Arizona. At the moment, they're at Arizona State University. They got on a plane and just went straight from Cincinnati. It was, yeah. They went straight from there to Arizona to get acclimatized. They have a bubble out there as well that they're practicing in. But obviously, the heat of the desert and getting used to what the temperatures are like outside, it's going to help them. That's one thing that you never saw on this under the previous regime. Let's be honest, that didn't happen. We didn't just all get on a bus and pack up and go, hey, there's 100 people here who we need to accommodate and pay for. Because let's be honest, that's kind of where you're at. You've got 70 players plus your support staff and everyone else. You've probably got 100 people who are coming in. You're going to pay for all their flights to go to Arizona to stay out there for a week. That didn't happen before. So fair play to Josh Harris and the team for.
That was going to be my point. Is we didn't have a guy with this.
That's what I'm saying.
That probably cost a few mil. That did. Just to do
I
that,
reckon so.
People with all this equipment and hiring of
everything else,
and everything else.
Well, how much does it cost to get a bag through on a plane? We know how much that is. So imagine going, oh yeah, by the way, I've got like 60 tackle bags, or do you know what I mean, and whatever else.
They probably hired a private jet, haven't they, to take them all? Probably.
Well, must have done. They must have done something like that.
So take all the equipment as well. To have the space for all that. They'd have to be in their own plane. There's no way you could be like sharing it with randomers like us. So they'd have to probably would have hired a private jet of some sort, some size, and then let's say get the meal prep, everything. You know what I mean? Like there's just so much that that goes into it. Logistically is insane. So especially out there to be like 4 or 5 days as well. Like what they're going to be there for. Is really, really good. I think, and that's why I think we'll do well in this game. I think we'll probably lose. I do think we'll lose, but I think we'll be better prepared for it anyway than usual.
We'll get into that. So we look at the injury report then, mate, but I've only got from Wednesday. I haven't got Thursday's injury report yet. The worrying one and concerning one is the top of the injury report for me is guard Sam Cosmi has an Achilles injury and did not practice on Wednesday. Jamison Crowder has a not injury-related rest day. Austin Eckler, obviously, we know is not playing in this game. He has a concussion. Zach Ertz was on the rest day. Cleveland Farrell is out. He already DQ's already said he's out with a knee injury still. They're just going to try and make sure he's fit for next week for week 5. Quan Martin has an elbow injury and was limited in practice. Benjamin St. Juste has a chest injury and was limited in practice. Manuel Forbes was a full participant in practice with his thumb. And Jason Johnny Newton, foot injury, was full participant in practice. On the other side of the ball, on the Cardinals, they're quite beat up as well. Trey McBride, tight end, who's very good, did not practice with a concussion. He is out for this game.
Out? Out. That's huge.
He's a big player for them. Quality. He is quality. I really like him as well. Kyle Reese-Tonga, who is a DT, he has a knee injury and did not practice. Buda Baker, safety, has a quad and was limited. Kelvin Beachum, offensive line, hamstring, limited. He's their left tackle. Dennis Gardeck, linebacker, finger, limited. Marvin Harrison Jr. has a quad, was limited. And Dante Stills, D lineman, has a shoulder injury and he was limited as well. So they're getting through it as well, the same as we are. All injury reports are kind of like this at the minute. People are starting to get beaten up. From our side, are you worried about Sam Cosmi with this Achilles? I mean, we'll see how it goes today, mate. We'll see what the injury report says.
I mean, you'll notice if he's not playing or not training at all this week. If he's limited or or did not participate, whatever, then you're thinking, could be something a bit more, but I think he'll play. From what I've seen so far, I think he'll play the game, and I think he'll be fine. But I say if he has got like some sort of like Achilles tendonitis, something like that, that's probably what it is. It's just going to limit him in his practice. And then obviously they'll have to make sure load it up and make sure it's okay to go in the game. But then it's always going to be the after repair for him. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be if this is true Achilles tendonitis, he's probably going to be on the limited throughout the season. Do you know what I mean? Because it doesn't go away in a week. Do you know what I mean?
It's constant, yeah.
Especially when he's a big guy as well. Bigger guys, it happens more too because, again, more weight that they're carrying and and everything else, naturally. So it's just a lot harder to kind of get rid of those little nagging injuries. Like, you can play through it, and sometimes you may need a shot or something like that. Maybe just depends how desperate you need to play as well, because you can play on them. It's just the after effects of it. It just keeps inflaming it and makes it a bit more chronic, which is a bit more nightmare to manage going forward. But yeah, I'm just hoping it's something, because tendonitis it's painful, but you can play through it, and you don't normally cause tears or anything from it, tendonitis.
Well, let's just hope that's what it is, but we'll find out a little bit more.
If it was a partial tear, you wouldn't be. You'd be just
you wouldn't even
down.
Be play.
Yeah, you would shut them down completely. You wouldn't be just doing did not participate or limited today or whatever. You know what I mean? You'd be like, no, he's out. So I'll be fine.
Absolutely.
Be fine to play.
So preview the Arizona Cardinals then. I mean, they're 1-2. They are second place in the NFC West. Their team leaders at the minute, 635 yards is what Kyler Murray has thrown for. Haven't got his touchdowns and interceptions against me right now, but I can obviously find them and pull them up in a second. Rushing yards wise, James Conner, the running back, has 189. Receiving yards, obviously Marvin Harrison Jr., another great receiver who's just come out of the draft. He has 198 yards. And then tackles wise, it's Kazir White, their middle linebacker, with 29. And they have one interception with Dennis Gardeck, who is a linebacker, but he's obviously on that injury report then as well. I mean, what are your thoughts on the Cardinals, mate? They're a sneaky good team, I think, this year.
Yeah,
and looking at Kyler Murray's stats actually here, he has 5 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 6 sacks.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the thing is with Kyler, he likes to run, doesn't he? So if you can get him in the backfield, that's classed as a sack, isn't it? That's probably the reason why he's got so many sacks. But, yeah, the sneaky good on offense. Defense kind of holds them in games. They're a bend, don't break type of defense. I'm just thinking, really, because now that McBride's out, I think that changes the favor. It really does. I think, we could nick it.
Well, the betting is where they are a 3.5 point favorite, the Cardinals at home. So that has come down significantly, I think.
Yeah, usually home team, unless this is a massive mismatch. Normally the home team gets 3 points head start anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So this game's gonna be very even, Especially I thought McBride was going to kill us, so he's not playing. That's awesome for us. So yeah, I mean, now it's down to stopping Harrison, which is going to be a problem. But especially with our corners, like we mentioned earlier. But yeah, man, I'm probably gonna say we lose 27-24. I reckon.
Playing it tight. I'm actually going to take this. I'm going to take this win streak, and I think we continue it on. I think it's going to be the other way around. I'm going to go 24-18, something like that. Or 24-21.
18 points with our defense. Oh, man. That's a fucking call, bro.
I do. I think that the defense needs to step up, and I think this could be the week.
It needs to step up. Doesn't mean it can.
I know. Maybe I'm just bullshitting and drinking the Kool-Aid. I don't know. But I do think
you need to drink on the defense.
I think we do win this week again. I think we do. I really do. I mean,
hey, I'll take a win.
I hope so.
Day, but,
I hope so, but it is tough. It's a tough game. It's a very tough game away from home. But I don't know. It's a tough one to call because of Monday night, I'm totally flummoxed with this. I would say this is a loss all day long before we got into this. I'd say Cincinnati was all day long a loss. But now I look at it and think, well, hang on a minute. If we beat Cincinnati, why can't we beat Arizona? I don't think there's any reason why we can't win this game. It's just going to be very tough to do, but I think we do.
It's a close game. Could go either way. It could go. We win by 3 instead, or you know what I mean. I can't see. Here's my hot takes. I can't see it being a shootout. It probably will be. Yeah,
I mean, it might be. It might be a shootout again. Might be game of the week.
Might be on Jaden's back again. Like last week. So, but yeah, I think. You can't play the same level again. I don't think my mind would be blown if he could do what he did last week. I agree with you. This week, but yeah, I think we do lose it by 3. I think it's a tight game.
I'm going to say we win, but I don't know. That first score, I don't know. I'll just a win. That's all it is. Right, final segment, mate, and I'm going to call this now. It's called 60 Seconds of Canada Mike. He's put in about 100 questions, so let's just go through them and run through them. They are quite funny, a lot of them, so take them with a pinch of salt. He said, how great is it that we're winning games and our defense haven't even started yet? Is Trent Scott destined to be wide receiver too?
Yep.
He is, yeah. Our team's going to have to score 30 to beat us from now on. That's a good question. I don't think that's the case. No.
I mean, to be fair, I think teams will score near enough 30 every week against us on average. I do. This defense has got to change. It's got to change, and I don't know. I haven't got the answers to this defense. You know,
I don't know either.
Joe Witt's got to step up, man. He's got to step up himself, not just talk the talk. He's got to fucking get these guys playing well.
Scott G said, does Jaden throw his first interception this week? And Scouse is frozen. That's fine. I don't think he does.
Back again. Yeah. Back again.
Did you get that?
No. What was it?
It's Scott G. He said, does Jaden throw his first interception this week?
Oh, is that meant to be first interception?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
No, I'm going to say he doesn't.
I don't think he does either.
No, I think he'll keep it the way he's just been playing it. You know, a little bit dink and dunk, and then just look for the opening, and then take the shot. You know, so.
Canada Mike says, should Tressway work in the front office to make up his wage? Who will score more times? Yeah, it probably is, yeah. He's icing his hands. I saw that. It was quite funny, actually, to be fair. Who will score more times this weekend, Washington or Liverpool Football Club?
Oh, you were playing Wolves, who's Mike's team?
That's what I mean, yeah, playing Wolves, aren't you, yeah.
Score more? I mean, no, Skins have got to score more than
no, not in points, but like maybe if we take it as touchdowns, then.
Goal. The touchdown is a goal.
Touchdown's a goal, yeah.
Level 3.
You're going 3-0 here for against Wolves?
I think 3-1. I think we beat them 3-1, and obviously 3 touchdowns for us.
Nice. Will Tress ask for a trade due to lack of playing time? I mean, where is he going with these? It's ridiculous.
3 touchdowns and a field goal, isn't it? 23.
It is,
24.
Yeah, you're right, yeah. So I don't know if you got that one. It said, will Tress ask for a trade due to lack of playing time?
It's about time. He's probably thinking to himself, it's about time this is happening. You know? He's been our best player for the last 4 years, so...
He has been. And then the final question from Canada Mike, he said, would you both admit that secretly to yourself you have wondered about them 12 wins? Yes, I have, Mike. Yes, I have. I sat there on Monday at 4 o'clock in the morning, sitting there thinking, shit, is Mike right? You know what I mean? Is he actually right, sipping his 1 Point Safety Show mug coffee on his porch, out there looking at the Bills Mafia, thinking to himself, I'm on the other side of this water here. Isn't life lovely? 12 wins, baby. I have thought about it. I'll be honest with you. I really have thought about it. Scouse?
I mean, I've not thought about 12 wins, but I looked at the next kind of 6 games, and I think we go 4-2.
4-2
in the next 6 games. I think definitely some winnable games there. You know, but I do think we lose this one, and I do think we lose the Ravens, but I think we win the others. Yeah. So, you know,
fair play.
Cleveland, Giants. I can't remember the other one, but yeah.
Right, so, that's about. I think that about does us, mate, for this week. So nothing else to go through. Thank you to everybody who is in the chat: Rod, Scott G, Brian, Jesse, everybody who's been in there. We really appreciate you joining us live. Also, for all those who download the pod, we appreciate your continued support. Thanks to Dunstable Town FC, Talk of the Town, Oddballs and Fusion Therapeutics. Please go to fusiontherapeutics.co.uk and go and give them a look. Thanks everyone for being with us. We really, really appreciate you listening to 2 blokes from the UK chatting crap about the NFL and about the Commanders. Happy to chop it up with you, Scouse, as always, mate. And looking forward to this 9 o'clock kickoff on Sunday, mate. For us, anyway, it's 9 o'clock for us.
Yeah, 9 or 5. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I say it's not too bad. It finishes about 12:30, doesn't it? Not
Half
too
12, yeah. Half 12.
I mean, we used to
Not-
quarter
not-
past 1 just last week. You know what I mean? So,
That was terrible. That was terrible. Because I was bouncing as well, I didn't get to bed till 5:30. So
the missus was fuming with you as well, man.
oh, she
Shouting
was
around.
absolutely fuming. I mean, I just, yeah, I didn't mention that, but yeah, it's just the 55-yard bomb to Terry. I just started screaming Terry. And it was like, then I realised it was 2:30 in the morning. I was like, oh no, I'm going to be dead.
Especially when your team got the same night as well.
Absolutely smoked, yeah, absolutely smoked. But there you go. All right, well, that about does us. Thanks everyone for being with us. We appreciate you, and we'll see you again same time next week.
Bye.